Hello everyone! I am a Broken Prophet and today I will be playing Sonic Adventure 2 for you. But, unlike normal, I'm going to be doing what's called a big percent run. What is big percent? Big percent is a very stupid thing in this game where we go hunting for every big cameo in the game. So he appears in most levels in the game. There are 3 exceptions, but the developers made up for that with putting him in it multiple times in some levels. Very simple concept. I will pause the game when we find Big, so you can all have a bit of fun pointing him out. But wasting no time, we might as well jump straight into it. So as always with Sonic Adventure, you've got to start with City Escape, everyone's favourite level. So my time will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Now, other than just the basic aesthetic of everyone's, favourite song in the game, the other reason I want to start with City Escape is it also has the hardest skip I will be attempting in the run. It has a notorious history of not being hit by people in marathons. And I do a slightly harder version than most people do. So I do not expect this to work. However, if it does, well, we all just get extra hyped, don't we? Good start. I'm also not used to doing this with upgrades on. I have most of the upgrades on for this run because it saves me going around the levels finding them. And yeah, missed it. Didn't expect to hit it. It loses about 30 seconds. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, in City Escape, Big appears. I'm sure many of you that have played the GameCube version have spotted him in quite a few of the levels. He appears pretty much at the end of the level in this one, during the notorious truck chase section. Because every Sonic game has to start with a classic chase, or every 3D has to start with a classic chase. Again, not used to doing this with upgrades on. Alright, get ready. There's our boy. And that is Big number 1.
Select a stage.
Now, you may notice something slightly different about the music in this level. I thought it'd be particularly funny if I, other than City Escape, because I couldn't change City Escape, everyone loves that song too much, to change every single level song in the game to the Big theme from Side X. So if you're a fan of this song, you're in luck. If you don't like it, you're in for a painful 50 minutes or so. You're going to be hearing a lot of it. Especially the intro. I'm used to being invincible there, I'm not going to lie. I play this game in a completionist category too often, but in that top corner there is Big number 2.
Select a stage.
Alright, Mission Street is our first indication, or first occasion, where we get more than one Big in a level. For some god-forsaken reason, the developers decided, when they made the hard mode of some of these levels, to change the Big location. Not entirely sure why, but I suppose it gives us more hunting to do. But the fun thing about this run, especially, in my opinion, is that despite it being very much a meme run, there are still a lot of instances where you play a lot of the levels out. So you're actually practicing a lot of the speedrun movement you would be using. So I actually started playing this category in semi-seriousness originally, because I wanted to just practice some of my level movement with some of the characters. And I thought, rather than just playing for the levels boringly, like everybody does, I would go on a big hunting mission. And there he is. I'll remove the pause. Big number 3.
Select a stage.
Now, Mission Street Hard mode, they decided to add him a lot later into the stage. So we get to play through this lovely level again, but pretty much until the end this time. Which for me is kind of sad, because I'm going to get a bit of hate from this, I imagine, but I'm not a big fan of Tails. At least not in this game. I've had way too many runs die to this Tails mech in levels I don't enjoy. So the fact they decided to stick it in another Tails level, or the hard mode in the Tails level, rather disappointing for me, I won't lie. But yeah, it's a meme category that still allows you to show off some rather fun movement. Especially when we get to some of the later stages, like the space stages. Because they threw the bigs quite late into a lot of the space stages, so the harder levels we get to play through a lot of them. Now some wonderful platform waiting. This game loves to have in-game platform cycles. They're spread throughout the entire game. And whilst they do make some parts of the speedrun quite fun as you're trying to catch the fastest cycles, if you ever happen to miss those cycles, it tends to be just seconds and seconds of waiting. Which, not always what you want in your speedrun, just being sat there doing nothing. Yeah, we're approaching big number 5, I believe? 4. 4. So we just got to wait here for a second, get hit, or just avoid it, and... Come on, camera. Oh, camera is not... There he is. For some reason, he's chilling on top of a falling highway, as you do. Now, the Rouge and Knuckles ones are usually treasure hunting stages where you have to find keys, pieces of the Master Emerald, but in their design, they're often, if I can actually get him in the center of the screen, very small levels. There he is. So they tend to be very, very quick for this kind of run. Now, White Jungle finds itself a very unique place in this speedrun. It is the only level in which he appears twice in the same difficulty mode. So there are 2 instances of Big in White Jungle. Most people playing the GameCube or HD versions will have spotted the first one. It's pretty impossible to miss. The second one might have gone a bit unnoticed. Yeah, anybody that would have played this on the Dreamcast would never have seen Big, very sadly. For some reason, they decided after the original to add these little cameos in. I know, just for a little bit of fun of people that maybe had already played the game to go hunt for something new. But they also changed it as well. So in the GameCube version, he appears in one of the Knuckles levels, Wild Canyon. But he doesn't post the GameCube. So if you've got this game on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, sadly that big does not appear in Wild Canyon, so he won't be part of this run. But there's the first one, just hanging there in the tree. If it was the way around, no. He's definitely not in this version. Oh, is it? He's on... I thought he was on GameCube. I might be mistaken. Right, avoid the checkpoint and don't die. Because Big is hanging out there in that tree at the back.
Select a stage.
I might have got that wrong. It might have been in the Dreamcast and not the GameCube. It might be me getting it wrong. I should know, I've got the GameCube version sat next to me. I thought I'd take the scenic route this time around. Right, for those of you playing Green Forest, unless you were really going exploring, you probably never found a Big in this stage. He's one of the instances where they really tried to hide him. So I'm going to have to do a fairly tight spin dash jump to get over to the platform where he's hiding. Hopefully I can land on it, although it's very easy to miss. Right, I'm going to do that one again until I actually land on the platform. I gave myself plenty of time. More scenic routes. But yeah, this is one that you're not likely to find just messing around casually, because there is no normal way over to this platform. Oh, I missed the platform again, but there he is. You can see him.
Select a stage.
I thought I'd try the funny movement. We recently had this level in an IL competition, so we were grinding a lot of this movement out a lot. So I thought I'd risk him with the harder bits there at the start for the fun of it. But yeah, in this one here, Big is in jail. Not entirely sure why. I've got a theory that he's a rather evil character in this this franchise, but there he is in jail. Secure Hill, another very quick one. I'm going to try and do that without dying straight away. There he is. Big is able to hang out underneath kill planes. More to my theory that he's a rather evil character is that he doesn't obey the laws of physics like everybody else. But yeah, and he's in a slightly different position to the M5. Very slightly, but he is just hanging out on this fan right there.
Select a stage.
Intruder alert.
Iron Gate's another one probably people very easily saw. He's not very well hidden per se in this one. But it's another one where you can't actually get to him without dying, so... More to the theory. Big being secretly evil. There he is. Again, hanging out below a kill plane. If I try and get anywhere near him, I just die.
Select a stage.
Pumpkin Hill is one that most people probably never found. This is probably the creepiest Big location in the game. Because you don't so much see Big as you see his rather evil glowing eyes peering out even behind a skull fence. Just waving. Rather ominous. Big, that one. I try not to think about it too much. Skyrail right at the start. It's quite a hard one to see. But if you look at the platform where Shadow's hanging out on there, right at the edge of it, next to the mountain, Big is hanging there fishing. You can't get any closer than this. The camera doesn't let you. But I'm sure you can see him at the back there.
Select a stage.
Alright, Metal Harbor, I'm going to need to grab an upgrade here. I wanted to try and remove Light Dash, so I could attempt City Escape Skip earlier. Didn't quite work out, but I was trying to get in practice with the upgrade on, and I could not do it. Or get the setup for it. So I thought it was worth a punt. So I'll quickly grab the upgrade. Restarts the song. We get this lovely beginning once again. Big appears most of the way through this stage, before the rocket launch section. And we're going to use a trick called a super bounce to get up and close to him. The way a super bounce works is, by flying towards a platform you can bounce at with a large amount of speed, you can then carry your horizontal speed into vertical speed through the bounce. So you probably glimpsed him at the top there. Oh. I'm going to hit this checkpoint because... There he is, just fishing on the back of a canister. Oh yeah, and Big's not solid. You can just stand inside of him and disappear.
Select a stage.
So more creepy Big facts. Weapons Bend is another level where Big appears twice. In the first instance, he's right here at the start. Just hanging out on top of there, lying down. Not entirely sure why.
Select a stage.
But then he does appear again in the hard mission in a slightly different place further in. So I get the fun of going with some rather tight jumps in this level. This is the first one. So I'm using a trick there called pause hovering. Basically, if you press A and then A again straight away when jumping, you get an increase in your height. But the speed at which this is required is very difficult to do just in a double tap. So what we do is basically just buffer the inputs. So we jump and pause, and then unpause and press A, just so we can get the inputs as close together as possible. And this allows us to get extra height when jumping. Oh. Yeah, here's our second Big in this stage. Just I can't get up there. But you can see him just over there, once again just fishing on top of a canister.
Select a stage.
Alright, Dry Lagoon is the first instance of me going out of bounds to find Big. You can see him in bounds, but it's more of just the tail. So the best way to do it is just using the amazing collision in this game to clip out using a statue head. And then fly over to him while I'm out of bounds. And there he is. Normally you just see that his tail poking out through the ground, but this way you actually get a good view of him clipping through a wall.
Select a stage.
I don't know why I entered Wild Canyon, he's not in this stage. I will show you the ring where he normally would be though.
Find the 3 pieces of the Master Emerald hidden somewhere around here.
So, the fan's in the way.
At the bottom of the screen
The fan got in my way.
to help you find them all.
Come on, up. So I don't, fan's gonna keep being in the way. So I don't know if you can see it, but between the two blades there is a ring sort of clipped into the mountain. Sort of just to the left of Knuckles' head. That's where Big would normally be in another version of the game. But for some reason, when they released the HD remakes, they decided just remove Big, replace him with a ring. So we don't get the enjoyment of Big in Wild Canyon. Sand Ocean, he appears right at the end of the level. So rather than playing most of it, I'm just going to skip most of the level using Mystic Melody, which takes you just over probably about halfway through the stage. Unfortunately, I'm doing this on New Game Plus because this level for New Game, when you don't have any of the upgrades, is quite torturous, to be honest, for those like new to the game. Even some of us speedrunners really don't enjoy this level. So yeah, fortunately I'm doing this New Game Plus, so I can just, rather than spend hours going through the levels, we can just get to the end. And there he is on the left hand side. It's weird, he sort of only appears at certain distances in this one. His rendering's weird. So yeah, he will just disappear. But he is there on the left hand side.
Select a stage.
8 quarters, another quite quick one. A lot of the hunting stage ones are. Run in here into the auto room, and you can see him up there on the flower, pretending to be a petal. I don't know, it's big.
Select a stage.
Right, Death Chamber is another one where he appears in 2 different locations, depending on your stage, if it's Mission 1 or Mission 5. Although they are very similar locations. It's also one that I always struggle to remember exactly where it is, because he's inside this internal machine. And there he is. So he's up there on the top right of the screen, sort of behind that piston going. I'll try and centralize him a bit more. Yeah, a very awkward one to spot if you're not actively looking for him. You're very unlikely to just stumble upon this one. Yeah, and he appears in a similar location to this one, but I think he's down the bottom this time instead of at the top. Yeah, there he is. Oh, trying to see from this side. Oh, where'd he go? He was there a second ago. Yeah, there he is. You can see him in the bottom left, sort of hanging on to the bottom of the machine. Yeah, it's a rather pointless location change, you'd think. I don't know. I think the developers might have just been a little bit bored one day and just thought, why not? Let's add a little bit extra. Right, I have to be careful in this one. The big in this one flashes by very quickly if you're not doing it right. I was practicing it earlier and I just flew straight past him without realising. Again, manipulating the geometry of some of the stage to allow us to skip some of the parts. And then super bounces again coming into play. Now we abuse the super bounce there to skip past this door. Now I want to be going very slowly here, because there he is. Again, just hanging out of bounds, somewhere we can't get to for whatever big reasons. Plotting something nefarious, I'm sure. Now this stage I didn't realise until I was doing my practice, you can actually see him without making your way all the way over to him. It's just on a side of the level we never go to. Because normally we stick to the left hand side of this platform where he hasn't rendered in, but if you go to the right, you probably just saw him flick into the camera there on the right hand side, and I died. Right. Give me about 15 seconds, I'll be back there. Yeah. There he is, just fishing on a pole in the desert. Magical big. Right, this, I hate this stage. The big in this stage he's a nightmare. I think in my demo video submitted for this, I spent about 5 minutes in this level trying to spot. I knew exactly where he was. I just couldn't get the camera to play game. He is down here. The emerald thing was covering him then. Right, there he is. So if you look at straight down the bottom of the screen, you'll see him hanging onto the side of one of these pillars. I spent forever trying to find this one in my practice run because I just could not get the camera to point down far enough to see him. But yeah, once again, hiding out very, very out of bounds. defying the laws of death. But yeah, he does exist in this stage. A man space, on the other hand, he just appears in the middle of nowhere.
Detector readings are reversed. Be very careful.
So it takes a bit of flying to get there because he's right at the top of the stage. And then right at the edge of it as well. He is about as far away from the spawn as you can get. So yeah, if you found this big casually looking around, you were very, very lost. Because he's all the way over here. You can't actually get anywhere near him. You just get turned around by the wind. But yeah, once again, just out there, fishing in space. Just. I don't know. I don't know why they put him up there, but they did. And now for the longest level in the run. So this is the longest level in the game normally. It goes on for quite a while because there are 2 rather long auto-scroller sections into it. So rather than put him in the game, the level early so we could find him nice and quickly, they decided they'll put him right near the end. So this one takes probably about 3.5 minutes to get to. And that's with doing a skip. It's very hard to miss because he is just sat there on the second auto-scroller section, which you'll see when I get there. But yeah, it takes a while to get to this one. I need to make sure I get the skip as well, because if I miss the skip, it will take even longer. Yeah, this is the only time you'll get anywhere close to the end of the song. Because it's about a 4-minute song. This music, this is the big theme from Sonic Adventure DX, or Sonic Adventure 1. I messed up the skip. I knew this was going to happen. So yeah, now we just have a very slow ride through space because I'm bad at video game. And then I got to play even more of the stage that I was hoping to avoid. I've not sat on this section for a while. Every type of run I do in this game avoids this section one way or another. So it's rather saddening that I made this mistake and have to do it in a marathon. The song's called Lazy Days, Living in Paradise. So yeah, the skip I was trying to do would have skipped that entire sort of section on the ride outside. It would have skipped all of this. It would have rejoined... You'll see a big black well elevator I have to get on. That's where I would have rejoined the stage. But yeah, this is now likely to actually get to the end of the song. Fortunately, I did put it on loop, so we'll start again. So we'll just be flying through space in silence. That is providing I don't die, because the music will restart if I die. So yeah, this is where I would have joined the stage if I'd done the skip properly. So it cuts out a big chunk of a level. More importantly, a big part of the level where you're doing nothing. These tubes are always so slow, going up and down these. This is my favourite stage casually when I was playing the game. I love the lack of gravity and just flying through space. Since I've become a speedrunner, I have developed not quite a loathing, but a sense of dislike for the stage, just because of how long and slow it is. There he is. Perfect timing. Just as the song ends, you can see him there just to the right of that capsule, top middle screen. So, didn't have to listen to the start of the song again.
Select a stage.
Quite fortunate. Alright, speaking of Eggman auto-scrollers, this is another level with a rather significant auto-scroller section. And once again, they put big on the auto-scroller. But it's not nearly as long this level. So we'll get there a lot sooner. But that's often the complaint I hear about people when they talk about Dark Story and the Eggman gameplay, is they're not a fan of the auto-scroller bits in it. Personally, Eggman is my favourite character to play in the game. I don't know why, because his character development design is very similar to Tails, and Tails is my least favourite character to play in the game. There's just something about playing as a bad guy that I really enjoy, I think. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but there it is. Yeah, once again, using pause hovers there to skip little bits of the stage that we don't need to play, so there's no point, is there, in a speedrun? But yeah, so Big is on this section as we're going up the elevator. He'll appear center left. I'll pause the game when we get to him, but he's somewhere near the top. So let's just enjoy a bit of the music while we wait. Here he comes. So you can see him there on the bottom left. Just sitting in a space tube fishing. Again, I don't know what he's trying to capture there, but he's after something. I suppose this might be a good time to go into my theory of Big in this game. It's not a very commonly accepted theory, and this might be me wearing my tinfoil conspiracy hat. But for those of you who know this game, each stage has 5 different missions. And in most of those levels, or most of the levels, mission 3 is find the lost Chow. So there is a Chow hidden somewhere in each of the stages. Now, I find it rather convenient that Big, a person who's proven himself to be able to get through kill planes and into areas where you should be dead and can't be, appears in pretty much every stage where one of these Chow are hidden. I might be scratching at something here, but I've always believed that Big is the one that goes into your Chow garden, steals your Chow, and hides them somewhere in a stage. I know he just plays the innocent, friendly character in Sonic Adventure 1 that just wants to find his best friend the frog, but I don't know, man. It's always struck me as rather suspicious. And you've seen the destructive power he can cause in Heroes. Like, the man is a proven, like, destructive machine. So, I don't know, you make up your own mind. That's just my 2 cents. Yeah, Eternal Engine, another rather irritating tail stage, I won't lie. Big appears after all the fun skips to do in the stage, so we don't really get to do any of the big skipping here. We'd normally in speedruns pretty much skip the entirety of the level, but Big makes us actually play through most of it this time round. And this would be another example of his rather, you know, suspicious non-human power. Because here he is, just sat outside on nothing in the middle of space. Like, I mean, you know, I'm not going to do your thinking for you, but if you start putting the pieces together, you've got to start seeing what I see, surely. Right, Final Rush. Skipless is one of the most fun stages in the game, in my opinion. And this also has my favourite Big location in the game. So as terrible as I am at this level in normal speedruns, I have a history of throwing runs here right at the end of the game. Fortunately, I don't have to do the skip that normally kills me. So we get to go find big and actually play a lot of a fun level. Yeah, and dropping that big lore that you didn't expect to hear something so deep in Memeathon, but I don't know, man. The big secretly being an evil creature. I think it has its merits. Alright, this is probably the second hardest trick I'm going to go for in the run. Unlike City Escapes, if I can retry this one a couple of times. Not that it matters, I got it first try. So you're not supposed to be able to run on this wall. And I died anyway. I got arrogant. My hubris killed me. Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to run on this wall. But by manipulating our speed and bouncing onto it, we can land on it. But then I messed up pretty much the last bit I had to do of the skip and killed myself. Right, let's try that again. No, game doesn't want to play. I'll do this section normally. It's a shame because that wall run is some of the coolest movement, but the section without it is still pretty fun to play. Yeah, this big location is one we completely skip normally in a speedrun. We don't go anywhere near this part of the level. But you catch a glimpse of him there. But I'll use the super bounce trick again to get up there. Here he is. This is definitely my favourite big animation in the game. And I just love that he's all the way at the top of the space level in this one. It's my favourite location. This one, however, is one of my least favourite locations. Because this is arguably the hardest level in the game. At least, you know, in my opinion. And they put him right near the end. And it's another one you really wouldn't have seen unless you were looking for him. So yeah, this stage is notorious for these gravity tubes that don't always quite function. It's very easy for just no reason to get thrown in a random direction or just not stick to them as you're intended to. Very, very easy to die. And not a lot you can do about it sometimes. I'm going to try and avoid that as best I can. I'm also not very good at this stage. We found a skip for the speedrun that skips the entirety of the stage. You play literally 8 seconds of the stage, which is all on the rail, and then just fly to the end of the stage. Since that came out, I really stopped practicing learning this level. To my own detriment, I really, really should be better at it. There is still a skip in the stage we can do in this run. It's called mini skip, and it's a manipulation of the gravity in the stage. So you can probably guess I'm not supposed to be going this way. I ruined that. I homing attack cancelled too early. Yeah, I'll try that again, but not. I was going really slowly for some reason. Let's try that again without dying. That's a bit better. So yeah, manipulating the gravity in the stage. We get what's called skewed gravity. We can just fly through space. As long as we maintain enough speed, we won't lose that gravity. We can just avoid some kill planes. Oh, I don't actually think I've hit a single major skip first try in this run yet. Sad. Yeah, as I said, this is a big you wouldn't have seen if you weren't looking for him. Because he is there. You can't really turn the camera here, but you can just sort of about make his the top of his face out there, his head at the bottom of the gravity tube. He's definitely in there, I guarantee you. But yeah, there isn't really a good way to see him, but he is there. Right, this one I'm going to go straight into Mission 5. There are 2 different locations, Crazy Gadget, Mission 1 and Mission 5. But you'll see why after this one I'm doing Mission 5 now and not Mission 1. Because Big doesn't just appear in levels. This is arguably the most fun stage to play as Sonic, in my opinion. A lot of the movement in this stage is quite tricky. It's very easy to die. But with that risk becomes the reward of the fun that you get playing it. Unless your homing attack doesn't work, which this game, the homing attack does not like to work most of the time. Just skip those enemies because it's slow to kill them. Alright, trying to skip doing this, trying not to die doing this skip. I'm gonna go from there, so I will die. That stage you grinding on a rail there and killing some enemies, and their hitboxes are not great. It's very easy just to hit them and not go up. And when you're on one of the hardest levels in the game, not something you want to be playing with, you can avoid it. Same as these enemies, we just jump straight past them all. No fear, even if you're on 0 rings. You're Sonic, you're faster than the enemies are. Alright, so in both Crazy Gadgets, Sonic Big appears at the end of the level. In the puzzle section. Which if you played this game, I'm sure you remember. It's the very annoying, colourful bit with loads and loads of gravity switches. Alright, I'm going to try. Right, I think I'm going to change the gravity first, actually. I can never remember which one is which. Which one's the hard mode one, which one's the easy mode one. All I know is he's out here, so there he is. So yeah, so there's Big in hard mode. And now it's time for some cutscenes. Because yes, if you mash A in certain cutscenes, Big will appear. There he is in the first one. Now in this one, he makes 3 appearances. Increasingly funny in my opinion as well. So if you watch the background, you see him running across there.
Stop fooling around and give me back my emerald.
So yeah, you just need to keep mashing A through these scenes. And during the moments he'll appear, it will trigger his appearance. He is peeking around the background. And the third one is easily the best one.
What in the world? Keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch me.
Is that how you say thanks to someone who just saved your life?
Saving my life.
There he is.
Don't think I owe you one.
And this happens to be the cutscene just before Crazy Gadget. So I can now do the mission 1. Rather than having to menu to it. I had to watch the cutscene anyway. So a bit of clever routing to avoid me having to do a little bit of extra menuing for no reason. I have toyed with trying to do the major skip we do in this level. Skips out of this room straight to the end of the stage. I had toyed around trying to get with it to see big in the puzzle section. I just can't avoid... I can't get the camera to follow me far enough to see it. So I'm going to have to actually play the level out. But maybe one day in the future I'll work out how to use the big skip to get straight to big. Oh, that's one ring light dash. A very notorious fault with this game is that sometimes when you try and do a light dash, you do just clip onto one ring. And if you're not very quick and aware of it, you will just die. Fortunately, I've been playing this game long enough now to be very aware to some of its less speedrun friendly mechanics. I tried 3 one ring light dashes, just as I was talking about them. Very evil game. I can't help but feel I breathed that into existence though. Right, again he appears in the puzzle section here, but it's a different section of the puzzle. I'm going to have to remember how to actually get to the right big. That's not what I wanted to be. Come on. I might have to die here, yeah. I was going to land on that where that switch was. No, pull the switch. This probably isn't the best way to get to him, but I always forget the best way to get to him. So I just go this way. Right. He's underneath this one. I just need the camera to... There he is. There he is in the top left corner. A very awkward one to get the gravity in the right place for. In fact, it probably isn't. I probably could have done it quite easily, now that I think about it. But there he is. We found him.
Select a scene.
Right. He appears right at the start of this cutscene, drops in on Eggman's little station on the right-hand side. And then we get the final actual level in the game, Cannon's Core, where he appears in every single section. So, those of you who don't know this game very well, in the last story of this of the game, you play as all 5 characters in this level, or 5 out of 6 characters in this level, and then Shadow would normally fight the final boss. But I realised I didn't actually stop so you could see him there. There he is, in the bottom left right corner. I'm going to die anyway and do this one again, because I wasn't actually paying attention. I was just kind of playing the level then. I have a kind of hatred for this level. So there he is in the bottom right. I'll actually stop so you can see him now without dying. But yeah, this level is very notorious in my stream because I have to play through it every time I reset my main category. So resets are very, very slow. And I've played through this level way more times than any human being should ever be forced to. Yeah, the Tails one's quite easy. The Eggman one's quite easy to miss because he won't render in unless you're in the right sort of area. So I have to try and make sure I'm on the right side of the final tube when I drop down it, so you can see him. And then we get the two more fun sections, the hunting sections, which we're gonna have some nice fun clip outs in, rather than actually having to play through them like we do in these ones. Cool. Very easily made the fast cycle. Although at this point I played this level so many times, I have very little excuse when it comes to missing that cycle anymore. Yeah, so Big appears on the left-hand side of this tube as you're dropping down. Pay attention so I don't miss him. There he is. You can see him on the left of the screen. Very, very easy to miss because normally most people would go down the right-hand side of this tube. So you wouldn't actually see him.
Great, Eggman. There should be a security door somewhere in this room.
Nope. One button. Yeah, we are approaching the end of the run now. The Rouge one right at the top of this room. If I can get the spiral. Come on. You can just about make him like that. I'll go to the top one so you can see him better. There he is, jumping up and down at the top of the stage. The camera doesn't like to stay fixed in this section, but he's definitely up there. Now, obviously I was right next to the time stop switch, so I could have just hit it and done this the normal way, but it's more fun to clip out of bounds. Yeah, I think there are, what, 3 bigs left in the run? Off the top of my head? Yeah. So we are very nearly there. The Knuckles is another one we just clip out of bounds straight away. Very, very easy trick. All you got to do is run forward. Stop and run forward again, and you will clip out of bounds. Now, normally we just fly to the end here, but I'm going to clip in so you can get a good look at Big. You can see him from out of bounds if I tried to, but it's just more fun to see him inbounds. And there he is. In between 2 walls. Underwater. Just Big doing big things, I guess. Now I've got to be careful, I don't actually have the air necklace. I never turn the upgrade on because I don't use it in runs. So I don't practice with it. And you can actually die after hitting the switch. So I'll make sure I grab an air bubble before hitting the switch. The Sonic section is right near the end of a rather short section. Come down there to where these time stops are. If I can avoid dying. So you can see him in the background there. I'll get a bit closer to him. You can't actually land on that platform, but I'm pretty sure you all saw him there. And then we move on to the final big in the run. And there is no better way, in my opinion, to end this run than with the most famous cutscene in the game. So please everybody enjoy the Faker cutscene before we spot the final big. Time will be when he appears on the screen. I'll pause it so you know.
I found you, Faker. Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Huh. You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my
make you eat those words.
Pure like gaming cutscene magic.
You won't even get the
One of the best cutscenes in the history of gaming. And Big, once again, is chilling out somewhere he doesn't really belong. There he is, underwater. That is time. So yeah, that was Big Percent. That was every instance that Big appears in Sonic Adventure 2. There's a lot of them, surprisingly. But yeah, like thank you to Calithon for letting me showcase this very awesome game and the very, very dumb little side characters in it. It's very appreciated, and I wish good luck to all the runners still to come. And everybody, please continue to watch. It's going to be a great event with loads of really fun runs to watch. But I've been a Broken Prophet. Thank you very much. Ciao.